On one hand, you can say that the Union are catching Toronto FC at a good time considering they're injured and feeling the after effects of a grueling run through the Concacaf Champions League. On the other hand, we have to go now on the road now to Toronto to face probably what is the best roster MLS has ever had. Union head coach Jim Curtin said. "Oh, they have some injuries, we recognize that," Curtin said leading up to Friday night's game versus Toronto FC at BMO Field. "But it is a deep team that is very well coached by Greg Vanney and just did some pretty amazing things in the Championship League and is hungry for points." Like everyone else associated with MLS, Curtin watched in awe as Toronto came agonizingly close to winning the CCL, the premier competition for club teams in North America, Central America and the Caribbean. Led by Michael Bradley, Sebastian Giovinco and José Altidore, three of the best players ever to play in MLS, TFC knocked off two Mexican powerhouses before losing to a third, Chivas Guadalajara, in the final, on penalty kicks, last week. Had they won, they would have been the first MLS team to prevail in the competition and advance to the FIFA Club World Cup. "You can tell they're the elite club in our league," Curtin said. "They're the champions of our league. They probably had the best performance I've ever seen an MLS team have in CONCACAF. Full credit to them, but we hope they have a letdown this weekend." A letdown is certainly possible, considering the stakes of a regular season MLS game are much smaller than a major tournament final. Plus, the defending MLS Cup champs are dealing with some injuries from their tourney run, including one to Altidore, hamstring, as well as a slew of defenders. In their first MLS game since the CCL ended, Bradley, a natural midfielder, was forced to play center-back in Toronto's 2-2 home draw with the Chicago Fire last weekend. "Michael's career speaks for itself," Curtin said. "He's a top player in our league, a guy that has the ability to run and control the tempo of the game. We are prepared for him at center-back, we are prepared for him as the number 6. Union captain Alejandro Bedoya, a longtime teammate of Bradley's on the U.S. national team, may play a role in slowing down the Toronto captain. Bedoya, who's scored 2 goals in Toronto, including one in the 2016 playoffs, will also be asked to help the Union maintain possession as well as they did in last week's 3-2 win over DC United as they attempt to open a 3-game road swing with a huge upset. When you look it up, we are one of the better possession teams in the league, and toward the top in chances created," Curtin said. "If you play the percentages over the course of the year, we know that some of those chances with start to go in the net." Chester, Pa. Aggressively pressing the right side of the box Saturday, Ilsinho beat his man to the inside. With a quick jab at the ball, his attempted pass rocketed off defender Frederick Brilant's right leg and in. It tied the match at 1 with DC United at Talon Energy Stadium. More importantly, it let the Union exhale and eventually claim the 3-2 win Saturday. See observations. "We've been struggling to put the ball in the net," Union midfielder Haris Medunjanin said. "It was a relief to get the first one in. It wasn't the prettiest goal, but it was an important one for the Union's young and frustrating season." The goal snapped a 243-minute scoreless run and was the Union's first goal in 2 games, and second in its last 6 matches. The Union were winless in 5 matches prior to Saturday. "You look at Ilsinho's goal, he just toes it but it finds its way into the net," said Union manager Jim Curtin, who was confident that any break on a goal would open the door for more. "You have to shoot to score and although we had more chances to let it fly, I can't be unhappy." Although United had scored first in the opening 10 minutes and managed to tie the game with a late goal by Darren Maddox in the 70th minute, the Union were easily able to overcome those issues thanks to Ilsinho's first-half goal. It seemed to settle the frustrated team, which went on to outshoot United, 23-4. "No matter what, it helps to score," said Ilsinho, who made the start for Fafa Pico. "We worked well today. We did a very good job today against a good team. They score first and then we score 3 goals, I think it's good for everybody." Ilsinho's fortunate bounce tilted the field in the Union's favor and opened the door for CJ Sapong to score his second of the season. "Ultimately it comes down to executing and getting the goals," Sapong said. "We've been in that position many times this season when we've had a lot of possession but the results didn't go our way. Today, everyone is glad to see shots go into the net." The momentum also allowed Borek Dokal to come alive. The Czech attacking midfielder and linchpin of the Union attack grew as the game went on. His early season struggles were forgotten when in the 72nd minute, he found an opening on the right side of the box and launched a confident rising shot that found the top of the netting. It was a clear sign that the Union's offense might be starting to gel. "It feels like, finally," Dockal said. "We needed to get some points today. I scored the goal and we created chances, but sometimes, this year, it felt like it was not enough. In 3 or 4 games we struggled to score a goal, so I felt the responsibility to do something with the result." Box score: Chester, Pa. With their offense in hibernation, the Union needed 1 goal to set off the alarm. On Saturday at Talon Energy Stadium, they got 3. Ilsinho, CJ Sapong and Boric Dockal scored to push the Union past DC United, 3-2. It was a much-needed result for the Union, who moved their record to 2-3-2. United fall to 1-4-2. Although it wasn't the most convincing victory, the win over United was a gasp of fresh air for the desperate Union. It snapped a 5-game winless run and provided some life as they head into a difficult 3-game road trip. With 3 goals, the Union, who outshot United 23-4, doubled their output for the entire season entering Saturday's match. They scored twice in the opener against the New England Revolution and once in a home draw against the San Jose Earthquakes, but before it became a victory, the Union suffered the worst possible start. In the 7th minute, Jack Elliott's outlet pass from inside the box was picked off by Luciano Acosta, who beat an overly aggressive press from Austin Trusty to find Zoltan Stever down the right side for the easy 1-0 United lead. But the Union were able to capitalize on some luck. In the 37th, the frustration spell was broken when Ilsinho laced a pass towards Sapong in the crease that deflected off the foot of Frederick Brillanton in, locking the game at 1. The goal was just the club's second in 6 games and first in their last 3. They went scoreless for 243 minutes before Ilsinho snapped the streak. Because of that scoreless run, Ilsinho made the start for Fafa on the right attacking side. Union manager Jim Curtin's decision paid off as Ilsinho was able to interchange into the center with right floating number 10 Dockal. At some points in the second half, Dockal played strictly on the right. The move activated both players, who combined for 2 goals and 8 shots. As the second half ticked down, the Union pressed on. Without allowing United to breathe, Haris Medunjanin capitalized on the pressure by lofting a perfect in-box ball to Alejandro Bedoya, who headed across to Sapong for his second of the season and 2-1 Union lead in the 60th minute. Despite lack of chances in the second half, the visitors locked the match at 2 in the 70th minute, when Darren Maddox rocketed home a pass from Stever. 2 minutes later, the Union struck back. Gaining the right side of the box, Dockal opened his Union scoring account by roofing a right-footed rocket over Steve Clark, regaining the 1-goal Union advantage. With a win under their belt, the Union now travel to BMO Field on Friday to challenge the defending MLS champions, Toronto FC. The Union have 1 win in their last 20 road matches.